Let's do some game picks.
What's your best match or game pick?
All right, big slate in the NBA for Saturday. Oh, there is nothing better than a Saturday morning, just like prop up on the couch, recover from the night before. You have an entire day of NBA basketball.
What's the NBA?
So many games. A couple of my favorite ones, just game picks against the spread. Celtics minus 7.5 against Miami. Miami did not fill me with any sort of confidence after that game one. The Celtics, just all the variability that they have on the court now just makes them a tough beat. Minus 7.5, I'd be all over that. I think they smashed them as a little bit of a revenge for last year's Game 7 walloping. I mean, I think I talked about this either on NBA Australia or our show yesterday, Stats Guy, but yeah, it's a bit silly to be like, revenge in game 1 or 2 of a regular season.
Yeah, it's not really real revenge, but you can feel a little bit better.
The Celtics really need to get a leg up over the top of this Miami team, and I think this is where
I know, they're in our heads.
Denver are only minus 4.5 against Memphis. I have no idea why this line is that
really.
Denver are going to kill Memphis. Memphis don't have any big men. Jaren Jackson Jr. can't stay on the floor. They've got Marcus Smart. They've got Desmond Bain, and very little else on that Memphis team. Denver just fed the Lakers into a wood chipper the other day. Like, they're going to kill Memphis. I don't care that it's Memphis. Denver are going to smash them. Detroit, Charlotte. I'm wearing the Charlotte hat. I struggled with this one. I wanted to talk about it just a little bit because Detroit really pushed Miami right to the edge, but they were getting killed early on. They bounced back. It's all okay. They've got 47 centers. They've got 87 point guards. Very little in between. Charlotte came back and beat Atlanta. The weirdest part about this game, Stats Guy, is that if Charlotte win, they're up 2-0. If Detroit lose, they're 0-2. And
it's weird.
Feel that way. I feel like Detroit should win this one, or at least keep it really close. I'm going to go Pistons +4 in that. Orlando. Yep. I don't know why this line is 2.5.
That's a short line. 2.5.
Orlando horrible. Orlando are good. Orlando are 2.5 point favorites on the road in Portland. It's like road favorites. Wow, that's a bit weird. No, Orlando are going to kill Portland. So give me Orlando minus 2.5 and away we go. A couple of extra little ones. Spurs -2 against Houston. I don't want to bet the line in that one because I don't know if the Spurs can sort of keep up even with the team like Houston who did nothing in game 1.
I reckon that's a small line.
But you know what you can do? Go the over. 228.5. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. 228.5. Go the over. Same with Brooklyn, Dallas. I do worry about the line, but Brooklyn +6 is still pretty good. Because defensively, if they can they've got so many wings and big guards and stuff to throw at Luka and Kyrie that they should probably at least keep it close with Dallas. Again, though, go the over. 228.5. And neither of these, Dallas don't play any defense. Brooklyn, we saw them yesterday against Cleveland go over this line already. So away we go. And then the other one, Warriors-Kings. Talk about a revenge game for last year as well. The Kings got knocked out of the playoffs game 7 by the Warriors. I can take the Warriors +2.5. I think they're a smart team who have the book on Sacramento already. They've just beaten them in a 7-game series. They will have scouted them to the absolute wazoo. Sacramento feeling really good. That just sheer pace with which they beat Utah yesterday. Awesome. Go the over in this one as well. 240.5. It's a huge over and under. But
that's massive.
I think the Warriors +2.5 and the Kings over against the Kings and the over 240.5 is where I'm going to land. Love that. And then a couple of NFL ones. Philly -6.5 against Washington. If you want to look at a favorite, that's probably my lean because Washington will probably play this squarely, but Washington have also been really bad. They can't protect Sam Howell. And if you put up 7 points like they did last week against bad teams, Philly will destroy you. Pittsburgh at home +2.5 against Jacksonville. This is the weirdest one, Stats Guy, that I wanted to talk out a little bit.
Yep.
Pittsburgh at home as an underdog under Mike Tomlin. It's 14-3-2 all time. They just cover every time. And you look at that and go, whoa, they'll probably cover now. And that's probably my pick. I still think Jacksonville win this game in a stupid, horrible, weird, gross way. Jacksonville are a better team.
Yep.
Pittsburgh keep winning weird games out of nowhere. If it falls apart, it might fall apart at home. And you're like, this is the one game, well, you've just got to go them as the underdog. I'm still going to go them as the underdog. I don't really think they win this, though. But if I'm going to get 2.5 points, I'll probably take them. Jacksonville probably win by 2. And then New England, Miami, as I mentioned, Miami going to kill my beloved Pats in this one. -1.5, over 46.5. Miami have beaten up on bad teams. We know that. But the Pats are a bad team. So I think there's going to be a big one. And here's a bit of a rate my multi.
Rate my multi.
Cincinnati +4 against the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners might be on a backup quarterback. They won't have Debo again. Cincinnati off a big rest. 4-point underdogs. Even if San Francisco win this, I think it's by a field goal. So if I'm getting +4, I'm taking that. New England, Miami, I already talked that one out. Miami -9.5. Baltimore -8.5 against Arizona. That's a key number. Even if you want to make that an alternate line, because I think that was 8.5 was through TopSport on our site. So other places have it 9.5. But if you can knock that down to an alternate 8.5, I feel a little bit better about that. Baltimore are way better than Arizona. Baltimore were incredible last week in destroying the Detroit Lions. Arizona stink. We get that. Yeah. At home, though, they tend to play hard. I want to keep it under double digits. I want to keep it under 9. So I'm going to have the 8.5 for Baltimore. And then that Pittsburgh-Jacksonville one. I'm just going to lean into it. Underdog, Mike Tomlin at home. It's the sort of square dumb play, but I'm going to do it anyway because why not? And then I'll get you over like the $13.80 mark. And there you go, Stats Guy. Rate my multi.
I'll give it a 8 or 9. I'll give it a 9. You're not convincing me on the Pittsburgh because every time you're but the stats do back it up for Pittsburgh to cover. So yeah, I'll give it a 9.
We could replace that with KC -7 against Denver because I don't think there's any way that KC don't just demolish Denver. But I also hate interdivision games for that sort of stuff. Like even though I've just gone New England, Miami, but yeah. So you could probably replace KC and Denver in there. There you go. So there's my rate, my multi. There's a bunch of game picks. That's so many game picks. What about you, Stats?
Awesome. I didn't write this in, but just to start off quickly, I just wanted to have a look at the EPL odds if they've changed. You still got Tottenham, who are leading the league, $1.80. They play in the morning against Crystal Palace at 6 a.m. So if you want to get on one overnight, I think $1.80 for Tottenham, who are top of the table. Crystal Palace is a decent team at home, but that's a great price. They're in absolutely unbelievable form under Ange. And then you get $1.80 as well for Newcastle against Wolves. Wolves are decent, but again, Newcastle are the best scorers in the whole league. So both of them, $1.80, I think is a really good price. I just wanted to check that EPL before I get into some NBL. I'm going to do a bit of an NBL rate my multi.
Rate my multi.
All right, so Jack Jumpers are playing in Melbourne United tonight at 6:30, I believe. I'm going to go the over of 170.5. That's really low. That's probably the lowest over-under I've seen almost all season. United, they've been having they're 2-5. 5 of their matches have gone under, which has been a bit surprising. But you got the Jackies, who I think are the third best offense in the league, averaging 92 points. I think at home they can get around that point. And then United, they have the scorers to catch up to that score. So I think 170, even if they play solid defense, you can easily get over that. So that's the first leg. The Wildcats head-to-head against the Bullets. Didn't want to take them at the line because the Wildcats have just been all over the shop the last couple of weeks. But I do think they have to win at home. They might have a riot if the Jungle don't get a win tonight. So I really think they'll beat the Bullets. Phoenix -3.5 against the Breakers. The Breakers looked really average the other night. And Phoenix at home have been really solid, so I don't mind the -3.5 there. Then I'm going to have Kings head-to-head in Cairns as they take on the Taipans. So the 4-leg multi there is 170.5 points, the over for the Jackies against United. Wildcats head-to-head, Phoenix -3.5, and Kings head-to-head. That gets you $6.77 with Labrooks.
That's pretty good. I like this a lot, especially that Phoenix -3.5 against the Breakers line. Like the over-under for Jackies United is always interesting just because you sort of look at that and go, well, 170, that should be
pretty. It just feels really low, yeah.
Ooh, yeah, I'll pay it. Especially United can put up a score. They've got enough talent there, and so do the Jack Jumpers, obviously. So I don't mind that.
I didn't want to do a match pick in that one either because I feel like that's going to be really close.
Yeah, I do want, my only worry would be that the Jackies United turns into a weird defensive slog out of nowhere. And you're like,
maybe,
man, how was it 80-83? What just brutal?
Maybe.
So I'll give that probably a 9 because I really like it. Obviously, the Tassie, Melbourne over the Wildcats to beat the Bull A, or else Craig Hutchinson might get, just, I don't know, not allowed back in the WA ever again.
Maybe.
Phoenix -3.5 over the Breakers. The way the Breakers are playing as well. And they lost.
Yeah, they look really
Cheatham hurt his knee, I think, last game.
Yes. So. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
It was a leg injury. It might have been an Achilles. Who knows? So, and Taipans Kings. Yeah, the Taipans weren't great last night, obviously losing on a buzzer beater against.
Yeah. I think Kings have to bounce back as well. They've had a tough few weeks as well.
I'll pay it. So, right, good stuff.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.